It was a scorching afternoon in downtown Chicago. Officer Brian Carter sat in his patrol car, lazily sipping on his iced coffee. He had built a reputation as a cop who pushed his authority too far, harassing people who didn't fit his idea of who belonged in the neighborhood. But today would be different. A tall, well-dressed black man stepped out of a high-end cafe just across the street. His name was Daniel Reed. He walked with quiet confidence, a man used to being in control. But today, Daniel wasn't here to flaunt power. He was just heading to a meeting. Brian, however, didn't see a confident businessman. He saw a problem. Narrowing his eyes, he put down his coffee. Who does this guy think he is? Without hesitation, he pushed open his car door and marched straight toward Daniel. "Hey, you!" Brian barked, stepping directly in Daniel's path. "What are you doing around here?" Daniel stopped in his tracks, startled but composed. "I'm just heading to a meeting," he replied calmly. Brian scoffed, looking him up and down. "You look like you're up to no good," he sneered. "Got any ID?" Daniel sighed. This wasn't his first time dealing with power-hungry cops. Slowly, carefully, he reached into his jacket to pull out his wallet. But before he could even hand it over, wham! Brian's fist slammed into Daniel's face so hard he stumbled backward. A cop had just assaulted him, for no reason. Pedestrians froze in shock. Daniel pressed a hand to his jaw, steadying himself. Slowly, he lifted his gaze back to Brian, but this time his expression had changed. "You just made a huge mistake," Daniel said, his voice sharp and controlled. Brian smirked, still drunk on his fake sense of power. "Oh yeah? And what mistake is that?" Daniel's next words drained the color from Brian's face. "I'm Chief Daniel Reed, the new head of Internal Affairs. I outrank you, and you just assaulted me in broad daylight." The arrogance vanished from Brian's smug face. What did you say?" he stammered. Daniel didn't blink. "You heard me, and now you're finished." The crowd erupted. People had already pulled out their phones, recording every second. Within minutes, sirens filled the air. Brian turned to run, but there was nowhere to go. A squad car pulled up, and officers from his own department stepped out. "Chief Reed," one of them said, nodding in respect. Then he turned to Brian. "You're under arrest for assaulting a superior officer." Brian's mouth fell open. Wait, I didn't know, Doesn't matter," the officer cut him off. "Turn around." Before Brian could protest, the cold bite of handcuffs snapped onto his wrists. As he was shoved into the back of the squad car, Brian's mind spun in disbelief. Just 5 minutes ago, he had felt like he owned the streets. Now, he was nothing. And as the car pulled away, Daniel Reed stood tall, watching the man who abused his power finally face justice.